guys, this is like real life, real talk right now. I am just going through and doing some maintenance things. So I'm responding to some WeChat messages, I'm posting in my groups, I am going through and I'm doing some things on my site, which I have a new website for my students and I absolutely love it. And one of these days I'm going to make a video and show you how I do it, because it is the best thing that I have come across so far. I really like it when you can manage your own schedule on your own here. Right now, I'm doing all of those things. What I like to do, apparently, is be super distracted. So I've been on Cambly for years, and you guys probably know that I'm not a huge fan of Cambly. They only pay $10.20 an hour for their free talk, but it is really nice when I'm just kind of, doing other things, and it's like, hey, if somebody wants to call me and it's not like a super long call, then I'll take the call and make a couple extra bucks. So this week I haven't worked that much on it because I don't consider it a full-time income. It's just kind of like a little extra, like if I have nothing better to do or if I don't mind popping on for a little bit. But I've made about $100 in extra cash between Tuesday and Friday, just popping on doing things like this. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you a little bit about Cambly. I'm looking at the website. I applied back in like 2018 or 2019. My intro video is terrible. If I wanted to be serious on Cambly, then I would definitely create a different intro video. It's terrible. I don't do it very often. I've made more this week than I've ever made before because I've never just sat down to take calls that I wasn't scheduled for classes. Sometimes your classes are 5 minutes, sometimes they're an hour. I won't pretend to be an expert on Cambly because, like I said, I don't go on it very often. But I'm going to go through here and tell you here what the program looks like, and if you want to apply, there is a link in the description box so you can apply if it's something that you want to do. Cambly pays 17 cents a minute, so that ends up being $10.20 an hour. So if your student's only on for like a couple of minutes, if it's a 5-minute class, you're not going to get paid very much. You're not going to get paid very much altogether. I'm going to be honest with you. And $12 an hour for Cambly Kids. I have never worked for Cambly Kids. And they pay you every Tuesday by the end of the business day, Pacific Standard Time. Film a short intro video. You don't have to do a live interview or a demo lesson or anything like that. And then once your profile is approved, you can start teaching. You have to be a native English speaker, 18 years or older. And they do, from my knowledge, they do hire teachers from South Africa. So it doesn't really matter what time you log on, in my experience. I have gotten calls all time zones. If I log on and wait there for, long enough, I'm going to get a call. So it's not something that I kind of like schedule into my day. It's just something that I'll do like, oh, hey, I'm doing this anyways. Like if somebody wants to call me and make a little extra, I can. So I'll typically do it like right now I'm doing my email marketing for my students and I'm setting up some classes and I'm doing some other stuff. I have had students a lot from Saudi Arabia. I've had students from Saudi Arabia that it's like 2 o'clock in the morning for them. So time zones and peak hours, like yes, they do have peak hours, but I don't really notice that you don't get calls off of like non-peak hours either. Like you just may get more calls. So I've gotten students from China, Japan, South Korea. I've gotten them from America. A lot from Brazil, a lot of students who are living in a native speaking English country, but they are immigrants, so they're learning the language and they want to acquire more skills even quicker. They also have something called priority hours, and you can see that it is 10:15 right now. I could go on a priority hour for 11 o'clock. The priority hour is in progress. once added, it can't be removed. So I could go on a priority hour right now if I wanted to, and that would mean that I would be guaranteed to get a certain amount of pay for that priority hour. You can sign up for up to 10 priority hours in a 24-hour period. The more slots that you sign up, the more that you're going to earn. So sometimes there is a bonus priority hour, which means that you're going to get your 15-minute guarantee plus like a 25% bonus. This month, this week, there is a 10% priority hour bonus. So if you do a priority hour during these hours on this day, then you get an additional bonus. So sometimes they have things like that too. I don't like to sign up for priority hours because I don't like to commit myself to $10.20 an hour unless I feel like taking the call. The thing that I've noticed with Cambly is that it's a lot of fun. Even though you're not making a lot of money, it is a lot of fun. So if you were to work like 5 hours a day, like actually teach 5 hours worth of classes every day, 7 days a week, you would be making $357 extra a week if you have, that time to spare. So if you're in between classes and say one of your lessons hasn't booked and you're sitting there anyways, I always recommend that be a time that you're doing something for your work. So set your work hours and do something for that work, whether it be marketing or reaching out to new students, setting up emails, setting up your website, or even just like popping onto Cambly. You should always be doing something to just kind of solidify that those are your work hours, this is what you're doing, and this is how you're doing it. And if you've been following me for a long time, I preached this even way back when I worked for Palefish, which was another company, that if you're wanting to work these hours, work them. If you want to work those hours, work them. Do something during those hours and consider it your work day. Interesting experiences that I've had on Cambly. Occasionally you will get somebody that is taking a trial class. You do get paid for the trials. Occasionally you'll get somebody that's taking a trial class that isn't there to actually have a lesson. They're there to ask you if you have a boyfriend, or they're there to do inappropriate things to themselves. You don't have to turn their camera on if they're a trial student and they're not a paid student. Those are the not paid students, the ones on trial accounts, are usually the ones that are going to do that. You don't have to accept those lessons, and you don't have to turn their camera on if you don't want to. And if they're inappropriate, you can end the lesson, report them, block them. Cambly will never send their account to you again. I haven't had that happen very many times. Out of the 88 students that I have taught, I have had that happen once where they wanted to ask me if I had a boyfriend, and once where it was very clear that they were not there to learn English. They got Cambly and OnlyFans mixed up. So that's my thing about Cambly. It pays very little, but it's one of those platforms where if something happened and you had a student cancel a lesson and now you have free time, or you're doing something else and you wouldn't mind taking a call, it's not a bad side gig to just make extra money and talk to people. They do have lesson materials, and if you guys want more on Cambly, I can show you more on Cambly too. They do have lesson materials that you can get into. They have like certifications that you can add to your profile, so you can be certified to or it's like badges that they put on your profile where it's like, hey, like I know how to teach this. I know how to teach IELTS. I know how to teach business English. I know how to teach general English. I can teach this and that. So you can add these different badges to your profile to stand out as well. Unless you're living in a country that has a very, very low income, I would not consider it something that you can live off of. $10.20 an hour is well below minimum wage where I live. Plus you have to take into consideration that you have to take out taxes for it too. This is not financial advice and this is not legal or tax advice, but as an independent contractor in the United States, your tax consultant, your tax expert will probably tell you that you should be taking out 20 to 30% of your income every week to set aside to put towards your quarterly tax bill. So if you wanted to work full-time hours with Cambly, you would be making about $400 a week if you were fully booked for your full-time hours. Like if you open up your schedule and you got fully booked and you got your regular students. If you wanted to work full-time hours on Cambly Kids, that would be about $480. I can't speak for Cambly Kids because I've never taught for Cambly Kids. I haven't even done the application process for it. So I do have a video, I will link it down below, where I talked to another teacher who does work for Cambly Kids, and she explains more of the process and everything for it. If you have any questions for me about Cambly, post them in the comments below and I will either tell you the answer or find the answer for you. And I will see you over here because this is where the algorithm on YouTube is telling you that you want to go. So I'll see you over there.